Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
Hi, Mom.
Where'd you get all this Narcotics Anonymous stuff from?
Mrs. Owens had Narcotics Anonymous come and talk to our class about meetings that can help people stop using drugs.
Narcotics Anonymous.
Yes, please. Can you help me?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
We are the faces of Detroit. We are the faces of Delray.
We are the faces of Delray. Governor Snyder wants to put us out of our homes by building a bridge in our front yard.
Homes where we raised our families.
A community where we buried our loved one.
Delray is struggling, but it's not lifeless. It's a community of hopes and dreams.
Governor Snyder.
Invest.
Not destroy.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin.
Did you know that there are over 100,000 abandoned homes within the city of Detroit? If you are tired of abandoned dangerous houses in your neighborhood, please support the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. Please make all checks and money orders payable to the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. The mailing address, 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit, Michigan 48221. All donations will help fund the expense of boarding up abandoned homes within the city of Detroit and Highland Park. For more information, contact Barry Ross at 248-417-9696 or Minister Malik Shabazz at 313-646-3375.
Hey, come on. Man, what is taking so long? Let's play.
Just getting a number.
Whose number?
Narcotics Anonymous.
Hey, if you need to talk.
No way, it's not for me, it's for my brother. He's constantly wasted. Come on, hoop time. Can you tell me about NA?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
You are going to want to check me out. First Wednesday of every month. Join me, Barry Ross, remixing it up. It's webtv.com. I'm going to be reporting to you the facts of Ohio. Just passed a couple months ago. His name was Reginald McFadden Sr. This is in the security business. He's a good family man, loved by his children and wife, dedicated to his community, and he was taken out. He was executed in his car, and I hear by mistake. So Crime Stoppers has sent me the beautiful sister-in-law here, not the beautiful sister-in-law. We have Walda Mobley here in a few minutes, and we're going to talk to her about this tragedy. And thank God I hear that the investigating detective is responding to this family, and you know so often this is not the case. So we're in a few minutes, we're going to talk to Walda. We also have with us tonight the executive director, Luther Badman Keith from Arise. And everybody knows the importance of Arise. And they just had their big event about a month ago, and we're going to talk to Luther on the history of Arise and where they're going, and Luther's involvement, and he's very dedicated to making things happen in our city, and we're very proud to have him here tonight. And we also have Brian Jones. He is the CEO of I Believe Records, and they have put together a record about Detroit. It's a collaborative deal with at least 10 different singers, rappers, R&B singers to show that things can, groups can be formed and work together, putting aside all egos, because my God, Detroit needs this. And we're going to hear a couple cuts. Apparently, I believe Brian's son is involved, right, Brian? Yeah. So later on, Brian Jones will be on. And we also have an interesting guest, Mr. Ted Cash. He is a Tai Chi master expert. And we're going to talk about, they cut these programs for the children in schools. Got nothing to do, and we know very well that sports is key to performance in academics, staying busy after school, building self-esteem, working with others, being a team player on a sports team just prepares you for life on how to work with others. And so later on, Mr. Ted Cash will be here. Maybe you don't know, we have, Minister Shabazz and I, and the Better Detroit Youth Movement, we have formed the G-DROP, which is the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. There's many aspects to violence, and some of you might not disagree, you might not be aware. Even a lack of education, even a lack of jobs contributes to violence. Abuse in the homes. There's many forms of violence, but we have right now some 95,000 odd abandoned homes in the city. We just heard last week, and we have the young man, Jay Danzy, here tonight, who put together the cleanup in the community on the east side of Detroit at Wayne School for the young man that was allegedly molested a 13-year-old young man. We board up homes. We don't just board them up. We clean up the properties as well, like Jay. And they're taking young girls, now young boys, in these empty dwellings, selling drugs, perpetrating all kinds of terrorist acts in the neighborhoods. Our community's living in terror. We're under tyranny here. So we board up homes. We just completed our 62nd home, but we need money. We have paid for the first 7 houses out of our own pocket. The city of Detroit, when I asked them for a truck, you know what they said? Mr. Ross, we couldn't even give you a nail. Even when I offered to pay for the homes, then they wouldn't even give me the addresses of the homes that they wanted me to board up. Unbelievable. So right now we have on PayPal, if you go to Greater Detroit Restoration Project, you can use your charge card. You can charge anything you like, $5 and up. You can call me, 313-355-2807, Minister Shabazz. But we're transparent. I want you to know that so often we hear about organizations that are fronting to get monies that aren't going to be used for the purposes that are intended, that they're, telling you that they're for. We can match every penny spent with every penny donated, okay? So we're straight up with this, and if the city's not helping us, then we want to help us. So I can't think of a greater way to do something for the holidays than, the gift that keeps on giving, because we really do. And by the way, this Thursday at noon, elections are coming up, and I think we have 20 more days to register. But we don't want to see Belle Isle end up in the state's hands. So this Thursday at noon at the Coleman Young Municipal Building, we're having a town hall meeting, Public Act 4, about the schools, the no takeover, and Belle Isle, and all these other issues that are plaguing this city. And we need your involvement. Please come down there, 12 o'clock Thursday. Very important. Okay, we had a little delay here, but we have a quick call, and then I'm going to get with our first guest, Walda. Stevie?
Hi.
What's happening, honey?
How you doing?
All right, how are you?
Fine.
I heard you won another medal.
Yes.
You're too good for me.
Yep.
And I heard you bowl.
I ride a bike.
You went on a bike, but I heard you like bowling.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not only going to take you to breakfast with the minister and his wife Akila, we're going to go bowling after, and I'm going to blindfold myself.
I want. I try to. I try to practice bowling.
All right. Hey, Stevie, you know, you gave me a phone number last time, and I called it, and it just kept ringing busy.
Because my other friends call here.
Okay, you don't have call waiting. Take my number down, Stevie, and we're going to go. And I want you to call me tomorrow afternoon. You ready?
How long from I'm getting?
I can't take long.
I'll call you back.
How much time do you need?
3 minutes.
Okay, you call me back.
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right, right now, everybody, we're going to hear from the sister-in-law. We're very proud to have her come here this evening, and we're very sorry for the loss of your brother-in-law. Thank you for coming. So tell everybody, what kind of man was your brother-in-law?
He was a very kind man. He loved his family. He lived in the city of Detroit all of his life. He worked hard, very dedicated, very spiritual. He went to church. He worked hard. He loved his family, and he was a hard-working man. And he didn't deserve to be killed. He didn't deserve it. And if anybody has any information,
Hold on 1 second. We're just doing a check. We're gonna get back to you in a second, but there's a It's her mic. Let her use mine. Okay, so we're going to get back to Walden in a brief minute. We're having some issues here tonight. There is a reward for Reginald McFadden Sr.'s, in my opinion, execution by mistake, we're going to call it. And it's $2,500 from Crime Stoppers. Now, everybody's living in fear. Nobody wants to get involved. Nobody sees anything. Nobody hears anything. We're laying down, and we're laying down for these punks on the street. Now, when I'm 60 years old, when I was young, a punk was not a gay person. That was somebody that's not facing life on life's terms and somebody that's not responsible. So I'm calling these young men out here that are taking lives punks. You heard it from me. This man was 55 years old. He was uprooted and taken away from his family. $2,500. Listen to this. On July 1st this year, Reginald McFadden Sr. was the victim of a homicide. He was shot several times as he was parked in front of the driveway. The incident occurred at his home at the 14,000 block of Ohio on the west side. Now, somebody out there had seen this. So check this out. You can call Crime Stoppers. They don't know who you are. 1-800-SPEAK-UP. This number goes through Central to Montreal, Canada. It does not have caller ID. Okay? Does not have caller ID. You got to make that car payment, that house note. You saw something? No questions asked. $2,500. Walda, let's see if you're still working here. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay. If the people have any information, we don't want them to be afraid to speak up. Crime Stoppers or Detroit Homicide, Crime Stoppers, please call with any information on the murder, execution of Reginald McFadden Sr., which happened on Ohio near Eaton 2 months ago. We would appreciate any assistance, any community information.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you watch the news. You know what's happening in our city. I personally, I'm sick and tired of families coming on my show and the minister's show week after week with another murder. The only way we're going to stop this is to get involved. And I don't know how many more incidences you have to bear witness to before you start getting involved yourself. You know, we go into communities, we do prayer vigils, have marches, and the support needs to be much stronger. We can take this city back ourselves in a nonviolent manner if we get involved. This is a picture. He's a good-looking, clean guy. This is This is when he was younger. Walda on the right. Walda.
Yes.
On the far right.
When he was younger.
He had his hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I interrupted you when we had a technical problem. You were talking about the kind of man he was. Could you go back a minute and talk about him?
Upstanding community man. He went to church. He loved his family. He was married to my sister for 27 years.
They just had their anniversary.
They had their anniversary. They were celebrating their anniversary. They were going out and they came home, and he was parking the car. She was going in the house, and someone came up to him and shot him while he was parking the car.
July
by
1st
mistake.
was their anniversary?
The day before.
Are you ready for this? June 30, was there 30 or 31 days?
June 30th.
All right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The last day in June, what is it, the 31st? The 31st or the 30th of June, their anniversary, he gets murdered by mistake. Oh my God. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. This has to stop. We appreciate you coming on. Now they have how many children together? 3?
Yeah, 3, two daughters and a son, Reginald McFadden Jr., and a loving family. He loved his
Grandchildren,
children.
I'm sure.
One Jameer, new grandson, and he has some other
Children.
Yeah, grandchildren also from a previous. But he was a wonderful man. He loved his children. Didn't deserve to die like that.
Nobody deserves to die like that. You mind if we take a quick? Okay. My God. Now, Crime Stoppers issues these flyers that need to be dispensed through the communities. What's near there? Are there any stores in this area? I'm sure there's some party stores.
They have stores on Wyoming, Livernois. Those are the main thoroughfares. Linden, Chalfonte, Eaton, and it's a community with older people in it. So I don't know where these assailants came from. I don't think they're from the community, because they usually look out for each other and try to watch each other's back. But if anybody has any information, they could use $2,500, and my family could use some closure. They need some help, so any information would be appreciated.
You never forget, but they need to know that who's ever involved gets justice. This family, everybody deserves justice. And so few get caught. My God, I bet you if we did a study on how many unsolved murders there are in the city of Detroit. But I am proud to say that the investigating officer detectives are corresponding with your
Yes.
sister. And our prayers go out
Thank you.
to your sister.
Thank you.
And how courageous she is to come here tonight. And if there's anything that we can do for this family and this community, you call 1-800 speak up, or you can call me 313-355-2807. That's the Detroit Coalition Against Violence hotline. And I do more than just saying that I'm upset on this show. I mean, we go out and try to find these guys. Honest to God, we've done it. I've been out with groups that have done this in the past. So these are the kinds of things. We cannot close our eyes. What time of day was this? Was this in the evening?
This was at night when they were coming home celebrating their anniversaries. It was around midnight.
And I heard that he was in the front seat.
Yes.
And due to the nature of the weaponry, that they shot him with such high-powered guns, I guess, that they blew him into the back seat and kept firing at him. That's what I had heard.
Well, it
Something
was
of
just
this nature.
it was just tragic.
He was shot several times.
Multiple, numerous
Okay.
times.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the community?
Just don't be afraid to share information. Don't be afraid if you look out the window to get involved. Don't be afraid to call Detroit police or Crime Stoppers. It doesn't hurt if you think you know something, any little tip, rumor, share the information. You never know. It's little pieces to a puzzle that can solve a murder.
The shame is that most people realize in the city that even when they call the police, a lot of the times the police don't get there in a timely fashion. The communications between the Detroit Police Department and the residents of the city of Detroit are severely impaired, and we need to work to bring the police. You know, there's a lot of good police officers, but we have a lot of issues. I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of issues with the Detroit Police Department. I'm most proud to say that my greatest ally is Benny Napoleon, and because he's always there when we need him. And I had somebody very close in the police department would always send us someone we need him, but we make these pleas. And are you afraid to call the police? Are you afraid to call Crime Stoppers? Call me. I'll do it for you. 313-355-2807. One more quick minute. Why don't you just make one more plea in behalf of the family, what kind of shame this is that this man was taken out of this life from his family.
Unnecessarily. He didn't deserve to die this young. He had so much to live for, and his family is devastated. They're too grief-stricken to be up here.
Right.
So I'm speaking on their behalf, but it takes community not to be afraid. Don't be afraid to look out your window if you hear something. Don't be afraid to help your neighbor. Just don't be afraid.
And you know they are. You know they are.
Don't
And
be
we
afraid.
say these things, and I know you're out there, somebody knows something, and you're paralyzed in fear to say something. You're not a snitch if your neighbor gets killed. You're a snitch when you're involved in a gang and one of your fellow gang members commits a crime. That's a snitch. You guys got the wrong idea out here what a snitch is. Okay? Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you
Could
for-
you just sit for a moment? And again, 1-800-SPEAK UP. This is the reward for Reginald McFadden Sr., murdered this past July 1st at midnight, 14,000 block of Ohio near Eaton,
Yes.
in front of his house. In front of his house. Sick. Sick. But there's a lot of good things going on in the city, and we're going to tell you about them. All right, we're going to be right back with Mr. Luther Bad in a couple minutes.
Welcome to Metro Foodland, where you will always find courteous service. Our hardworking staff always gives their all to maintain our dairy fresh and wholesome products, cold cuts, premium meats, and of course, we have some of the freshest produce around. Check out our deli and bistro. We also carry specialty items such as Tanisha Noni, Water Station alkaline water, and much, much more. If we don't have it, just ask, and we'll do our best to get it. Remember to ask how to join our Healthy Rewards Club. Seniors and ladies, always ask for an escort to your vehicle. We'll see you soon at Detroit's own community grocer, Metro Foodland, located at 18551 Grand River. That's 18551 Grand River, near Finkel and the Southfield Freeway. Remember, that's Metro Foodland.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
Hi, Mom.
Where'd you get all this Narcotics Anonymous stuff from?
Mrs. Owens had Narcotics Anonymous come and talk to our class about meetings that can help people stop using drugs.
Narcotics Anonymous.
Yes, please. Can you help me?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
We are the faces of Detroit. We are the faces
of Delray.
We are the faces of Delray. Governor Snyder wants to put us out of our homes by building a bridge in our front yard.
Homes where we raised our families.
A community where we buried our loved one.
Delray is struggling, but it's not lifeless. It's a community of hopes and dreams.
Governor Snyder.
Invest,
not destroy.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin.
Did you know that there are over 100,000 abandoned homes within the city of Detroit? If you are tired of abandoned dangerous houses in your neighborhood, please support the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. Please make all checks and money orders payable to the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. The mailing address, 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit, Michigan, 48221. All donations will help fund the expense of boarding up abandoned homes within the city of Detroit and Highland Park. For more information, contact Barry Ross at 248-417-9696 or Minister Malik Shabazz at 313-646-3375.
I'm going to talk. Welcome back. Welcome back to Mixing It Up. You can watch this show always, BarryRoss.org, on YouTube, ROSSBD51. I have the executive director of Arise with us tonight, and I want to welcome. He's no stranger to Detroit. I see him at every single solitary community meeting, Board of Education meeting. Everywhere I go, I see Luther quietly coming in, and he really cares. So, Luther, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
My pleasure. I just want to say, Luther asked me a question because we really aren't that acquainted with one another. Where did I come from? You know, and I was telling him my history with Sermons Closed, but just in 2 minutes, I don't believe this. I got sick and tired of watching the news every night, murder, rape, and violence. And I'm a big proponent of all different kinds. You know, I mean, the Wall Street Journal, the Barron's, Financial, what have you. I stopped watching conventional news and I stopped subscribing to the local papers. And I realized that nothing was getting done in the way of arresting this violence. And I ended up starting Detroit Coalition Against Violence, and I really was surprised at how far it's taken me. I wouldn't have assumed that I would have continued on, and because it always seemed like it got in the way. But so that's just a brief. Arise has been around for how long?
Well, Arise Detroit started officially in January of 2006. I actually became executive director in March of 2006 after some 30 years working for the Detroit News as a journalist.
Wow.
Writing about issues in the community and growing up here in Detroit. And a lot of people don't know this, but it's an idea that I like to say the good Lord sent it to me. One day I started writing down on a piece of online paper with a magic marker an idea for a new community organization. And lo and behold, it got funded by one of the major foundations and started with 22 organizations and has grown down to more than 400, working with groups all over the city and just trying to get people to step up and get involved and work with organizations like yourself because we're all we have and we're all in this together.
Well, I have to say, so it was really born within you.
Yeah.
Your vision, the vision in Arise.
Yeah, it did. And then fortunately, the right people came to me to work with me to execute the vision because I couldn't have done this all by myself. And it's been amazing. I can say Rise Detroit is not an idea whose time has come. It's an idea that the community wants to come to. And that is what made it what it is.
All right, so fundamentally, in principle, what is Arise's function?
Here's what I like to say, kind of our elevator pitch is that our goal is to promote volunteerism, community activism, and positive media images to create a better Detroit. And so that accomplishes a couple things. Number one, you want to get people to engage, to get involved in community organizations, hundreds of organizations like Big Brothers, Big Sisters, 100 Black Men, Alternatives for Girls, Black Family Development. You know them as well as I do. All over the city, groups are looking for people to get involved and engaged to help them change the quality of life in Detroit. To community activists, that means to be informed. This is the great thing about your show, what you do, Malik and others have done. You need an informed citizenry that knows what's going on, that is registered to vote, that holds public officials. That not only holds public officials accountable, but holds ourselves accountable as a community. And also, this is our third, and we promote positive media images to create a better Detroit, because and I've taught journalism at the college level, and one of the things that I often say is that the media, all of its forces, in many respects, the most powerful force on the planet. I give you your show and the importance that it plays here. So as we promote change and get people to change, we need to make sure that the stories is read, heard, and seen in all the forums and even on the internet, to drive the movement. Every movement for change, every social movement, if you think about it, had a media component, had a communication component. So as we go about the work of changing Detroit, we have to make sure those stories are seen, so we can inspire other people to get involved. And that's how we build a movement for real change in Detroit. It doesn't happen overnight, but but that is a part of it. It can't be just image. Sure. It has to be works. And then the whole thing with the media is not just to beat up on the media, but the media to tell the whole story, not half the story. So as you talk about the painful things like these terrible homicides, my heart goes out to the woman and her family who lost their husband. We've got to tell those stories. We've got to tell those stories because we've got to get people involved to change those stories so other people are not living with that tragedy as a community. So it all works together, and that's what Arise Detroit is about, working with everybody to create a common good for us all.
Okay, so let's just say I have the Greater Detroit Restoration Project.
Mm-hmm.
What could you do to assist my organization to garner more support, or would you even consider, is this part of your functioning?
Absolutely, it's part of our function, and we are, unfortunately, we don't write checks as a lot of folks. But what I do is
we're not just talking about monetary.
No, absolutely. We're talking about engaging people. So we do several things. We do a newsletter that goes out every week to more than 2,500 community organizations and people. So we promote work like, and we say get involved with the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. We also have appearances on a number of local radio shows. We do a lot of radio and TV and media that we try to use to market and promote groups like yourself. And quite frankly, we get calls into our office every day. We're in the Samaritan Center on the east side of Detroit. People who want to get involved in community projects. I was on the phone today with a couple organizations, I won't mention them now, but very well-known community organizations, that are looking for ways to engage, and they've come to Arise Detroit because we're very much grounded into the neighborhoods of Detroit. They said, can you identify some neighborhood people that we can partner with? And of course, we gave them those names because that's what we, in terms of Greater Detroit Restoration, we want to make people aware of them. We want people to volunteer with you. We want to raise the profile on you, encourage them to support you, because as you know, as we more of these projects, and there are many initiatives across Detroit, people who have stepped in on their own, like yourself, and said, you know what, I am going to do something. I cannot just wait on the mayor, the governor, the president.
Thank you.
You know, we have to do some of this ourselves. I heard Bill Clinton say on a visit to Detroit a few years ago, after government does everything it can or should do, there is a gap there. Government cannot do it all. That's where you and I come in. That's what's so great about Greater Detroit Restoration. So many other community organizations. There's a great group called Team 313. They've been boarding up houses every weekend all summer long. Haven't gotten any publicity, but they just on their own have decided to. There are lots of others as well. So our goal is to be your champion. What I like to say about Arise Detroit is we want to be the champion and advocate for what I call the transformation community. And that's a phrase I've come up with for any group, organization, or person that's doing anything to make a better community. You are part of this transformation community. That's hundreds of organizations. That's thousands of people. So our goal is to champion the cause and advocate on behalf of this community to get involved, see that stories are told, and to drive change to create a better community.
Well, I'm really surprised that I haven't had the pleasure of, I don't know if this mic on? getting acquainted with you earlier. I just want to ask you. You've been around for a while.
A while.
What I've learned on many fronts in the last couple of years is that a lot of organizations that appear to be working for the greater good of a community or the city or a block might not really underneath be working towards those goals. And I have seen this time and time again that leadership, it's you have a lot of responsibility as a leader in a community group, what have you. I have seen so many groups of them themselves wanting to be on top, ego problems, self-destructive, disrespecting other members in their groups and meetings, what have you. How can people tell if a group is integrity based? How can they tell who to support? Is there any telltale signs?
The telltale sign is to watch their work. Watch their work, watch them over time, and evaluate them. I'm not going to say anything self-serving about myself and our work, except hopefully the people have judged us by the fruit of our work and seen us what we do. You mentioned you were very gracious about seeing me at all these meetings. You know, my wife is saying, I thought when you left the newspaper, you were going to be more available. She said, what are you doing going to all these meetings? But really, and this is when I taught journalism at Wayne State for a period of time, you cannot get a degree for integrity. You cannot get a degree for credibility. You cannot be anointed. You cannot be appointed. You have to earn that.
Sure.
You know, I venture to say I wouldn't be sitting here with you if you had not seen something that hopefully I was doing in our Rise Detroit was doing that gave us the value to bring us here. So it's something that you have got. It's not easy. See, people too often, I think, Barry, people want an easy answer for stuff. There's not an easy answer.
I understand.
You have to judge, and you're going to make mistakes. But over time, you're going to learn something. You learn from your mistakes.
Well, see, it's affecting everything.
Yeah.
Now, why should the community trust government, trust leadership, trust the community leaders, what have you, when so many for so long have taken and misrepresented and deceived?
But my contention would be this, though. Yes, absolutely. But what else do we have? What's our options? What's our choice?
Hopefully that they can continue to still try to trust.
Well, not only just trust. You can't. You don't want to give them blind trust. They have the people who are elected, and I have a tremendous respect for elected officials, any public official. But you have to earn that respect. You have to earn that trust. And if they don't get it, then you move on to somebody else. So it's no easy answer to that. But over time, there are people that if you watch them and observe them, there are community groups, and there are people there. If you observe them over time, that you can find value in the work.
Sure.
And you can. At the same time, though, you can't totally absolve yourself of your own responsibility as well.
No.
So that comes with, sometimes I think to be our leader. That's not enough. It's not just about leading. It's about, I heard someone say, actually, anybody who does something, that makes you a leader too. So don't just put it off on somebody else. Luther Keith, Barry Ross, or whoever to be the leader. I mean, you can lead. Tony McElwain, who runs Ravendale Community, a woman I have tremendous respect for, has a phrase that says, most people are waiting to be led. So they're sitting around watching the same thing you're watching and saying, who's going to fix it? Who's going to get the block club together?
But but not to interrupt you, but no disrespect. But
yeah.
There's so much apathy.
Yeah.
On so many levels.
Yeah.
And even in relation to this family, nobody sees anything.
Yeah.
Fear. I mean, we just have so many issues. And in terms of, I have tried
right
on a couple different occasions to formulate a consortium of groups. The Greater Detroit Restoration Project, I started out with 11 prospective groups, and for no reason whatsoever, people would say they were interested, they wouldn't show up. And I'm about equal leadership within a group.
Okay.
There doesn't have to be a leader.
But
we can all have complete a democratic way of.
Well, but see, Barry, see, I've gone through that same experience, and there's going to be some of that goes with the process. That's what real commitment is about.
Right.
That's I will bear if you give me just about 35 seconds. I'm gonna tell you a story that I tell a lot. My mother, God rest her soul, told me a story when I was about 5 or 6 years old. It was a story of the chicken who baked the bread. You ever heard that story?
No, the chicken that baked the bread?
That baked the bread. One day, Mrs. Chicken got up in the morning, and she said, "This is a beautiful day. I think I'm going to bake some bread. I wonder who I can find around the barnyard who will help me bake this bread." So she went to Mr. Pig and said, "Mr. Pig, will you help me bake this bread?" He said, "No, I'm eating my slop. Go away." Went to the cow. "No, I'm eating hay. Go away." Went to the barnyard dog. "No, I'm chasing squirrels." Went all around the barnyard asking all the animals, "Will you help me bake the bread?" They said, "No, we don't want to help you bake the bread." She said, "Okay." She went back to her little chicken coop, got her little chicken stove, got the little flour ingredients out, started baking the bread. The smell of the barnyard, the smell of the aroma of the bread baking started going all across the barnyard. All the animals started saying, "Something smells real good. What's that?" "Well, we heard Mrs. Chicken, wasn't she saying she was going to bake some bread?" I said, "Yeah, let's go over to the chicken house and see." So sure enough, they all go over to the chicken house, and out comes Mrs. Chicken with a big loaf of hot steaming bread. It's smelling real good. And they all said, "Man, Mrs. Chicken, that bread's smelling so good. Can we have some of that bread?" She says, "No, I think I'll eat this bread all by myself." And the moral of the story is some people don't want to help you bake the bread.
Yep.
They just want to eat the bread.
I hear you.
And so what you're doing, Barry, you're baking bread. A lot of people in Detroit are baking bread. There's some folks, they simply don't want to bake the bread.
I hear you.
They're going to show up when the bread is baked. They're going to show up when Detroit has arrived. They're going to show up when Detroit is on the cover of Time magazine as a comeback city of the year. But we can't worry about them. We cannot worry about them.
Yes, sir.
We have got to keep breaking the bread. So maybe you started with 11 and you only got 3. Take those 3 and keep breaking your bread.
I got you.
But it is frustrating.
I have learned this credo.
And I've learned,
I have learned this. Time has taught me.
But what you're doing is powerful. What you're doing, what Malik is doing is powerful. What a lot of people out there just doing, watching this show, we don't even know their name, but they're doing something. So what we have got to do is to keep doing what we're doing. Come together where we can. You know, I was a sports writer. I'll tell you another story.
Wow.
I was a sports writer. A lot of people don't know this. I was the first black sports writer for the News of the Free Press back in the 70s. And I started writing stories about, you know, when you're a sports writer, you're an expert on everything, supposedly. You can predict who's going to win, who's going to lose. But guess what? I end up writing a lot of stories about teams that couldn't be beat that lost, teams that couldn't win that won. Because guess what? You got to play the game. You got to play the game. So we cannot let anybody else define us. We can't let anybody else throw us off track.
No.
We gotta keep working and leaning on each other.
I appreciate that. I have learned against all odds what anyone says. They see this white guy, for whatever reason, he's trying to take from us. Don't trust him, and I just keep on going. I don't explain myself. I know where my heart is. I don't have to prove nothing to anybody. I hear you.
Well, you know what? And you know what? And I might react that same way, except guess what? I keep seeing you the same places over and over and over again. So that's telling me that this guy is really serious. He's really committed. And you got a heck of a story that I didn't even know about. I'm so glad that you told it. Because
my roots are deep here.
Yeah, and so that's what it is. So we have got to keep working. It's very unsettling when you see this spike in crime. So like you said, we have march after march and prayer rally after prayer rally. But guess what? The history books are not filled with stories about people who gave up. They're not the folks we read about.
Oh, I hear you.
We read about the folks, the times were darkest. There was no hope. They said they couldn't do it. It was impossible. And guess what? Now it's a chapter in the history book, and we're teaching to everybody. So at some point, this time in Detroit will be in history books for a time when we drew the line in the sand and transformed our condition. Not that it's going to be easy. It might take over time. And the only thing we can keep doing, I was talking to Malik before he left, is to keep pressing toward the mark no matter what happens. We cannot give in to despair. We cannot give in hope. But
keep on pushing.
But we can't just dream for a better community. We got to work.
Thank you.
For a better community.
I just want to say real quick, Malik tells me that in the Shrine of the Black Madonna, they don't really even consider you a member till you're there for 10 years.
Yeah, there you go.
All right? So people out here talking about, they all bad and they all this and they got all this and they doing all this for a year and then they disappear. And that could be the same, my lot.
Yeah.
So, but listen, I want to talk to you.
Oh,
thank you very much. Luther, Keith, everybody. Thank you very You too. Thank you. Stay here for a second. We're going to be right back with Brian Jones. So we're going to take a brief break. We'll be right back.
Governor Snyder wants to put us out of our homes by building a bridge in our front yard.
Homes, where we raised our families.
A community where we buried our loved one.
Delray is struggling, but it's not lifeless. It's a community of hopes and dreams.
Governor Snyder.
Invest,
Not destroy.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin.
Did you know that there are over 100,000 abandoned homes within the city of Detroit? If you are tired of abandoned dangerous houses in your neighborhood, please support the Greater Detroit Restoration Project.
Please make all checks and money orders payable to the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. The mailing address, 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit, Michigan, 48221.
All donations will help fund the expense of boarding up abandoned homes within the city of Detroit and Highland Park. For more information, contact Barry Ross at 248-417-9696 or Minister Malik Shabazz at 313-646-3375.
Hey, come on. Man, what is taking so long? Let's play.
Just getting a number.
Whose number?
Narcotics Anonymous.
Hey, if you need to talk.
No way, it's not for me, it's for my brother. He's constantly wasted. Come on, hoop time. Can you tell me about NA?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
You are going to want to check me out first Wednesday of every month. Join me, Barry Ross, remixing it up. It's webtv.com. I'm going to be reporting to you the facts and the truth, the way our society is run in Metro Detroit. 8 p.m., bringing you featured guests in relation to community, education, violence, what's happening on the streets in our town. It's Web TV, Barry Ross, remixing it up. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., the first Wednesday of every month. Remember, remixing it up with Barry Ross on itswebtv.com.
There are all kinds of people. Their variety is almost endless, and that's a good thing. Diversity is our strength, and so are our similarities. But there's one thing that far too many people share: addiction. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, call Narcotics Anonymous. Addiction doesn't discriminate. We can help you.
You're watching Power Talk on your community TV station, UHF TV 33, Detroit, Highland Park. The following program does not reflect the views and opinions of Channel 33, its management, or sponsors.
Hello, I'm Christina the Glam Tech, owner and operator of Studio Glamour Salon. We're located in and we're here to make you glamorous. We specialize in big glamorous hair, vintage hairstyles. We specialize in special occasion hair, color, cuts, hair care, and all phases of glamour. Give me a call at 586-872-2272. We are located at 22109 Gratiot between 8 and 9 Mile. And glam up your life. For first-time client, we are offering a $10 off coupon. Just mention the commercial when you book your appointment.
Welcome to Metro Foodland, where you will always find courteous service. Our hardworking staff always gives their all to maintain our dairy fresh and wholesome products, cold cuts, premium meats, and of course, we have some of the freshest produce around. Check out our deli and bistro. We also carry specialty items such as Tanisha Noni, Water Station alkaline water, and much, much more. If we don't have it, just ask, and we'll do our best to get it. Remember to ask how to join our Healthy Rewards Club. Seniors and ladies, always ask for an escort to your vehicle. We'll see you soon at Detroit's own community grocer, Metro Foodland, located at 18551 Grand River. That's 18551 Grand River, near Finkel and the Southfield Freeway. Remember, that's Metro Foodland.
Welcome back to Mixing It Up. This show is always 24/7. BarryRoss.org. You can go to my YouTube, Ross BD51, my Facebook for the show. Mixing It Up with Barry Ross on demand. You're going to hit videos and they're going to be live. You can see all the shows. What a great show tonight, with the exception of my first guest. I can't handle doing the murders. I mean, my God. Well, there's a lot of good things going on in Detroit, everybody. And they're not all bad. And this gentleman here has his own, I could safely say, record company. And he's got something very interesting to tell you about a collaborative song that dispels the myths. East, West Coast, all this stuff. You know, remember those days when everybody was on everybody else from another side of the country? Well, not anymore. I want to introduce everybody to Mr. Brian Jones. Thank you very much. It's a nice jacket. Looks like cashmere to me. I Believe Records. And by the way, if you go to IBelieveRecords.com, he's got a banging video interview of Cheryl Choden interviewed him about. Did you write this song?
No, I collaborated.
Okay, well, come on.
Collaborated different
Groups.
Parts, yep. Executive produced and put it together, and these guys came on and did their own thing.
They're all local.
Yes.
And the name of it is?
My City.
And what is it about?
My City is a song that's contributed from 10 artists, 2 producers. One of the producers was so excited he wanted to actually partake on the song, which is hell of a. And it's showing the different sides of Detroit, names a lot of different featured icons of Detroit, such as Better Made, Potato Chips, home of the Big Three, you know. So we got a lot of things in there, and we're going to get to both the songs today. But more so, what I wanted to do is dispel the myth about different artists coming from East, West, North, and South, being together and collaborating, no problems, no fights or anything. And after that, I had a dinner at the house, bringing everybody for interviews and stuff like that to get together. So
What was for dinner? I'm hungry now.
we had everything, but the best was the banana pudding my wife made.
Now, you're rather a bit of a historian. This man here, fill me in. You know a lot about Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
You know a real lot about what's underneath. And we had a great guy. I couldn't stop talking to you. You hit me to a lot of things that I didn't know. So what's your son's name?
Jujetta. His real name is Terry, but his artist name is Jujetta.
Jujetta. Jujetta.
Jujita, and he's a 9/11 son. So he's
Oh,
special.
okay.
Born on 9/11, so he just had a birthday.
9/11 was in 2001.
Yeah.
Told me he's 11 years old.
Oh no, his birthday is 9.
Oh, his birthday's. That's Mike Taylor's birthday's 9/11.
28.
Okay, that's right. You told me that. So happy belated birthday to Jujetta.
Right.
Jujetta.
Jujetta.
So tell me about this song. You have R&B. I'm asking. You have R&B singers and rappers.
What I did was I laced it with Rail Divine, which is an R&B singer for Detroit. Rail is very talented.
Real Divine.
Rail, R-E-L-L.
Oh, okay.
And Rail has done a number of things. He's been out there. He's got a church background singing. But so what I did was I took Rail and put him on there to lace the song with the singing. And then I took the rest of the artists, the other 9, and let them come in and implement the actual message about Detroit. And they tell the good and the bad, but they bring Detroit in its rare form. And I Believe Records is established as I Believe Records because we needed to get people to believe in Detroit again. Detroit is the home of the music as well. So coming from
They're coming back, aren't they?
they're coming back strong.
Not just because we're saying this,
No, not just
but isn't there an influx now of recording studios trying to come back to Detroit and set up?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Motown should have never left. Motown should have never left Detroit, but we understand they had to go into the movie business and what have you.
Absolutely.
And did we talk about the possibility of Barry Gordy maybe coming back here?
We talked about it.
I
But
mean, he's not a baby. He's like 83 years old now.
right, but what he's trying to do and what we're doing is two separate things. If he come back and try to reestablish the music, fine. But here in Detroit, there's too many artists, there's too many labels to not formulate another Motown and Motown atmosphere. So that's what we're doing. It's going to take older people that come back that used to gang bang in the streets. You know, I'm from the east side, so what they consider the lower east side, Jefferson, Gratiot, that's where I grew up. So it'd take a person like me and older people that got in trouble. I still talk to a lot of people like Jennifer Granholm.
Were you on the other side?
Oh yeah, definitely.
See, I always ask this because I was on the streets.
Oh yeah.
And I might not have been on like you, but I sold drugs, I did drugs, I got in some trouble when I was younger. It seems to me, it's always the men that have learned the most that get to the other side, that get a little older and more seasoned to try to make a difference. I would have never thought that about you.
Well,
I mean, you don't know looking at someone and talking to someone.
Well, that's true, but I think sometimes it's a gift because what sometimes you taught as a kid, you reverse back to it. So that's what happened to me. I was taught good moral values, no matter what. 90% of our youth or become a man later in life find out that everything that we was taught early can
with the
come
right
back to you
things.
with the right thing.
That's right. When Mama said put your galoshes on and you didn't want to and you got sick, that happened enough times when you realize when you get older you put the hat on your head, although I don't ever wear a hat.
That's right.
And put your galoshes on.
That's right.
My mother was always right and I always had to go the other way.
Absolutely.
Because that's just what we did.
That's right.
If she said A, I had to do B.
That's right.
So your record company, are you profitable right now? Or you're just developing it?
I'm developing it, and the answer to that, a lot of times you got to give back first. I'm not trying to make the money. I'm trying to make the fame of these people and the talent. So if that means giving the music away, there's a message.
Okay, you got to hire. Okay,
Right.
You have a studio?
No, I shut the studio down so I could regroup and just actually go back and see what I need to do different. And I did that a year ago, and then when I came back, I said I'll collaborate and put a lot of Detroit artists together so that way we can make some moves and not scare people that think that the rap or the word rap mean violence. When if they really pay attention to
There's clean rap.
It's clean. Well, not only that is there's messages that they're telling you that all it is a story no matter what. Just like if you take the average artist that's made it, a lot of them have not portrayed that lifestyle, but yet they'll sing it. I can give an example. Rick Ross.
That's
Rick
not
Ross.
the real Rick
He's
Ross.
not the,
I had the real Rick Ross on my show 20
absolutely.
years.
I talk to him once a week.
Okay.
You talking about the real free
Oh,
Rick
because
Ross.
you know Phyllis.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. We got a shout out to Phyllis, by the way. Phyllis,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank
you
you,
sent me a
Phyllis,
good
baby.
one, Phyllis. Honest to God, Phyllis. Phyllis,
yeah.
you're always bugging me, Phyllis, but you sent me a good man. I like him, Phyllis. We talked for 2 hours on the phone.
Absolutely. So let's take Rick talks and portrays things in his records, but it's not true. So for someone to think that that's what he's done, fine. He made his money, great.
He's
But
capitalizing on a persona
he's
of the
doing
real
real
Rick
good.
Ross style.
Well, he's doing
That ain't
real
even
good.
true. What kind of better lie could you live?
Right, and then like Freeway said, he gets to say something to the public that he went to jail for, but this Rick didn't. But I believe Records is here to bring back that definite, I believe, or the belief in Detroit again, because there's a lot of things going on downtown, and we're gonna grow with them.
Do you mind if we hear a couple cuts?
I'm ready.
Mr. Hodo, do we got something lined up we can hear? Well, I don't know what's first. Was it My Mother or My City?
My City. We'll do My City.
All right,
part
My
one.
City's 10. Yeah, part one. Just what, half of it?
No, we can do the whole part.
Is it 10 minutes though?
No, the first part is 5 minutes, and this is with Rail Divine, Bird, Stretch, Jujetta, Lady T.
Is this in the final editing stages and all that? Is this ready to produce?
Yes.
It's for sale.
Yes.
It's on the market right now.
Yes.
Where?
Actually, it's everywhere. Only thing I didn't do was update it with some of the local outlets.
It's on
stores.
iTunes?
Yes.
I want you to say all that. I'll ask you if you can say all of it.
Okay.
Normally he has a black. Can we hear it a little louder?
Let's make it like it used My life, yo, music, Motor City art, R.I.P. Aaliyah, R.I.P. Rosa Parks, Young, Coleman, Blade, Dope Man, R.I.P. Proof, the mayor, the spokesman. Can't forget Bree, cause he told me to get mine. And Jay Dilla held it down for years on his side. Take away the job, still we managed to get fly. Take away the school, still we managed to get by.
Look, it feel good to be a D nigga. Out of town, they can tell when they see me, nigga. Yeah. We got a style you a kill for. Biggie tried to tell him on the real low. Stink pink gators, get your Maury gang together. I know killers, but me, I'd rather aim for cheddar. Even though I came up, I'm still the same as ever. The good times never last, but the pain's forever. I spit rhymes for my niggas in the hood, up to no good. What up, though? What you know good? For the old schools, but we had to switch it up a tad bit. Now we do the Beamers pulling up with that bad Benzes in the ranges, even though it's dangerous. All I know is when I got my paper, I was anxious. When the camera on, I be twisting my thing. Cause you ain't know Detroit niggas is gangsta.
My city, welcome to the fabulous life. My city, my sons and cars were born to ride. My city, step into casino life. My city, money if you place your bet right.
Juju, welcome to my city. I'm about to show you how we ride. No need for confrontation, boy, we fly. Focus on what's important in game. I'm patiently waiting. What we facing is the hatred, the hustle, my occupation. We rising to the top, never falling, helping each other. The Motor City is back, let us in. We taking over. I believe records and top dollar game come from the home of cars and stars. You know who we are. Moving forward simultaneously, being coherent. What you hearing is that Jujita speaking potent positions. At the Fox River Walk, it goes down daily. You should capture the moment in the hood and slap crazy. Beautiful women, elegant living, pay attention. We gon' make it, bypass the hatred. Let's make a powerful team, just get together and see we can achieve. Jujita, boy, I'm from Detroit, boss, and I lead by example. Casino lights here, life is a gamble. Represent my city even though that it's in shambles. If you ain't talking real money, we don't understand you. D-Town swag, Sig Sawyer mag, Michigan laws, Arizona bag. I can put you on your feet or I put you on your ass. I put it on your head and they'll put you in the past. East-west cutthroat, southwest gunsmoke. Y'all run trains, round here it's called a busto. And I'm from Exit 9 where a Bloyd is a custo. Certified D-boy, I got what they come for. Slump low, old school flyer than a frisbee. Hater try to get me, shut them down like McKenzie. Cause when you get it in, everybody envy. I'm killing all the haters, hope the Lord can forgive me.
My city, welcome to the fabulous life. My city, my sons and cars were born to ride.
Yeah.
My city, step into casino life. My city, money
Lady T. Yo, West Side 7 Mile, I'ma represent it. Everywhere I go, I got the D on my fitted. D-Town staying fresh as a costume. Come on, baby, let me teach you how to ball. Come on, summertime on the strip, meet me on the aisle. Home of real music, Motown. Blaze said, what up? Boss up, boy. I love my city, and that's Detroit.
Welcome to Detroit. Welcome to Motown. Where the home of the cars and home of the stars. My city, welcome to the fabulous life. My city, my sons and cars were born to ride. My city, step into casino life. My city, money if you place your bet right. Welcome to
Why don't you tell everybody what's going on in this song?
What's going on in this song? My city is telling about Detroit, good, bad, all the way around. It gives the insight on what goes on in the city, and it also offers insight to solving things. So one is the collaborative effort to put these artists together, displays and dispels all the myth about artists being tearing up stuff. It doesn't happen like that. You know, I've been around a long time. You know, I got softer music on there. You know, Mother Love, Tell Me, The Truth. I got other songs, so I believe records come in a lot of different ways. We're gonna have country, we're gonna have rock, we're gonna have everything. So, you know, that's what we're about.
It seems to be your common interest and your common thread that, you know, by collaborating, that's what we stand for. That I always say, because I have a collaborative group. We started another collaborative group last fall when we were patrolling for Halloween with unlikely collaborative groups that probably a Jewish group, a Muslim group. Jews, Muslims, Nation Islam, people that you wouldn't think could work together. That's what we want to show people.
Absolutely.
And I hear you. So, okay, it looks like you're accomplishing that. You didn't have no beefs, you didn't have no riffs, everything worked out. Do you want to just mention real quick some of the guys in this group? I know you did before. There's 10 different artists.
Right, let me run down.
Just give them their props.
Right, Real Divine is the R&B singer. Bird, a.k.a. Freedom 100, is Joy Road. He represents. Everybody knows Stretch Money. Jujetta is my son. Lady T.
Jujetta.
And then on part 2, you got
Mike.
On part 2, you have Cheddar Boy Malik. You have Cash Out Payroll. You have Tone Tone. You have Helluva, and you have Rose Boy, Young Roy Boy. So these are people that's all around Detroit that's doing something positive. Like you said, Cheryl Choden came and interviewed me at my home, and this is an interview on my city and what we're trying to do for the city.
And you can see that interview on, I believe,
Records.
Listen, just real quick. This is for sale.
Yes.
Where can they buy it?
Actually, you can go on iTunes and buy it. You run into me, I'll give it to you. But right now, these first sets of songs are pretty much not for sale like that. I'm not going out my way to stress it, but you can get it on iTunes. You can download it for 99 cents, and then you can also go
My
on
City.
My City, part 1, and we have the remix as well.
There's a My City, Miami.
It probably is.
I'm just saying. So you don't want the Miami. This is about Detroit. Obviously,
I
if
believe
you've been
records.
listening, you can recognize that fact. So it's on iTunes.
Yes.
And it's not in any local record stores.
No, I haven't put it in the local record stores yet.
Okay.
It will be coming.
Okay. And you know, you go to iTunes, you go to Apple, you join iTunes if you got an iPod, an iPhone, what have you. 99 cents is the best deal. I love iTunes because, you know, on albums, generally if you got 1 or 2 good songs, you're lucky, and you don't have to buy a whole album anymore.
Absolutely.
That's the greatest thing about it. But then you can run up thousands of dollars online, and I've seen people do it. We have one more song we want to hear.
Yes, let's listen to the remix of My City.
Let's take a call first. Good evening. Okay. No, that was My City.
Yes, that's My City.
But how about the Mother one?
I have that one as well, but do you want to hear that one, or do you want to
hear
hear
the
remix?
I want to hear.
Let's hear Mother Love.
Let's hear Mother Love. We're going to hear one more cut, Mother Love. Oh, he left the area momentarily. This is Mother Love right now, coming up. Oh, I thought you get. Oh, wow. Okay. We're going to have Mother Love. This is also another collaborative, right, Brian? And we're going to have another guest shortly. I'm proud to say we're going to have Jay Danzy. Right after this song, we're going to have another guest.
This is Divine and David Billy, producer.
Mother Love.
This to all the mothers out there. I know times get hard, but you gotta keep your head high. Keep strong. We gon' make it. You the best, baby. Got nothing but love for you. You know we love you, mama. Do everything for you, mama. Yes, that's that mother love. Yes, that's that mother love.
We're back on the air. Boy, was that a pretty song. We have a quick call, and then we're going to give Brian another minute, and we're going to have a break and bring on our last guest. Good evening. You're on the air.
I'm online.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm all right. Praise the Lord. Amen.
All right, we got just a hot minute. You have something to say to our guest?
Yes.
I bet you're a recording artist.
I'm a recording artist, but I have something to say.
Go ahead. What's
my name is Bless Lips and the Fam. I know about True Oracles, Pastor Jimmy Bennett. I'd like to commend him on the job that he's doing in the neighborhood.
Okay. Anything else? Hello?
Yes.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much for the call. Good evening, you're on the air. Hi, could you speak up? We just have a few seconds left. Can barely hear you. Okay.
Hey.
Hello?
Hey, listen.
Yes?
Respect out to everybody who representing on my city, man. Everybody, I feel love for everybody.
Say that one more time. Hello?
Okay, thank you for the call. That was a beautiful song.
My Mother Love.
Mother Love is also available on iTunes. And from now on, Mr. Jones is kind enough. I'm going to be playing that song every week. I want to give this some play. We want to get this on the radio stations.
Appreciate it.
But I'm going to give it play here every week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barry.
And Phyllis Bell, you a bad woman, honey. You
Phyllis,
are bad,
thank
Phyllis. Don't let anyone take that away from you.
That's right.
I love you, Phyllis. We're going to be looking forward to the Motor City Housewives coming to Detroit.
That's right. Motor City Wives.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to have Jay Danzy with us to close us out. So we'll be right back. Want to check me out? Okay. First Wednesday of every month. Join me, Barry Ross, remixing it up. It's webtv.com. I'm going to be reporting to you the facts and the truth, the way our society is run in Metro Detroit. 8 p.m., bringing you featured guests in relation to community, education, violence, what's happening on the streets in our town. It's Web TV, Barry Ross, remixing it up. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., the first Wednesday of every month. Remember, remixing it up with Barry Ross on itswebtv.com.
There are all kinds of people. Their variety is almost endless, and that's a good thing. Diversity is our strength, and so are our similarities. But there's one thing that far too many people share: addiction. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, call Narcotics Anonymous. Addiction doesn't discriminate. We can help you.
Good evening and welcome back to Mixing It Up. I just want to say that I have these Narcotics Anonymous promos on here because if you don't know where to get help, you can call the Narcotics Anonymous hotline and they'll get you in a treatment center whether you have insurance or not. And if they don't help you, you call me, 313-355-2807, where I'm always on the hotline for Detroit Coalition Against Violence. I'm not going to embarrass this young man because he is obviously, we just became acquainted, very, very humble. And hopefully he's going to tell you what this great work that he just did last weekend. This is Mr. Jay Danzy, everybody.
Hey, how you doing, Barry?
I'm doing great. What's the name of your organization?
It's called LYN, the Love Your Neighbor Network, and we actually collaborated with the Roxbury Block Club.
What do you mean you collaborated with?
Well, what we did was we decided to take action. The little boy who was abducted from the school.
I don't know if everybody out here is aware of what you're talking about. Why don't we tell them?
Well, there was an incident the last week where a young 13-year-old boy, he was abused and he was abducted from Wayne Elementary School, and so he was taken into a backyard that had a bunch of weeds and stuff like that, really, really tall. And so we decided to go around in the neighborhood and board up some houses and
You
know,
took
take some
action when the city wasn't taking action.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So we applaud you for this. Okay? We all applaud you for standing up because that's what the real people do. Let me just say that at Wayne it's an elementary?
Absolutely.
He was inside of the school. Two men knocked on the door. This young man shouldn't have even been at this door, letting people in. Instead of security letting him in, he lets them in. Now they take this young man, right?
Absolutely.
And we're not 100% sure, but they abducted him, it looks like, and had their way with him.
Absolutely.
They molested him.
Yeah.
This has not been proven, but this looks like, okay. So they took him into a backyard, and you decided that you're going to board up these abandoned homes in that area. You cut the tall grass. My God. And we have to thank you.
Yeah, it was really crazy because the lady's backyard, it had craters in it. I mean, it looked like a graveyard, literally. I had never seen anything like that in my life. And so we called the landscapers to come out. We had maybe 35 people
That's
to come out.
a tremendous turnout, your first event.
Absolutely.
35 is great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had men with saws?
Saws, lawnmowers. We boarded up the wood. Actually, you were very instrumental, I must say. This guy right here, him and Malik Shabazz, they actually contributed a lot of the wood that we got that day. And, you know, I kind of fell in love with this guy's spirit because he like stayed on the phone with me for like maybe a half an hour, you know, and we just talked about, you know, strategizing, what to do and how to do it. So, you know, we want to thank you first and foremost, and the Minister Malik Shabazz.
When anybody steps up, we want to let them know that we want to step up with them when we can. If we can't make it out physically, we'll do what we can to advise or what have you. Who paid? Forget the wood, but nobody paid for anything.
Yeah.
You had volunteers.
Volunteers, 100%.
That's what it's all about. You had volunteers working, cutting, and did you have food?
We had food. We had a lot of people come out and contribute the meals that we had. I mean, you know, one person brought the White Castles, one person brought fruit, you know, water. So it was a really, really nice collaboration. And I do want to say really thank you to the Roxbury Block Club because as a result, see, there's something that you out there, you can take action as well because they actually have where when there's someone strange going in the neighborhood, they have this text that they go and they send out. So, like today, I got a text, three young men with black hoods knocking on doors. And so...
Well, excuse me, today?
Today.
Okay.
We got this today. And so when you get this text, it's funny because all of the families and stuff, they'll come out on the porch and sit. And so they're watching the block, you know. And so then the guys, they just stopped knocking on doors and they just left.
Well,
they
that's
went
not
on another
funny.
block.
That's great and that's important. And
Absolutely.
That's what we need you to do. We can make a difference just sometimes by showing up.
Absolutely.
When they see us, they should, if they got any kind of common sense, stop what they're doing. A lot of times they won't.
So you got about 50 people that got this text on this block, and so all of the families are patrolling our own neighborhoods. So I thought that was really, really a great thing.
So you all got each other's phone numbers.
Absolutely.
That's a smart idea. Okay?
Yep.
You know, you can do these text blasts now.
Absolutely.
You can sign up for it, I think, for $50. That's a whole other issue.
Okay.
But I wanted to have you, and I appreciate you just coming. I wanted to personally meet you, thank you, and we need more men like this. And we're willing to team up whenever we can. Malik, I, Gabe, our people, for men like you, whenever we can, and all over Detroit. I'm not too proud to say that I can't assist somebody else and do the hard work when I can. Anything else you want to say? You have a contact, you got a website, you got email, you got, what can they do to get a hold of you if they need you? You're in what area? That was one area. That's not really where you live, right?
Well, that's my aunt's neighborhood. That's where I'm born and raised. So, you know, Detroit, my heart, you know, and I came out in support as a father first and foremost. You know, I have 2 young men. My oldest son is 20. You know, he's in the Army now.
Wow.
And my youngest son is all age student. He's 9 years old. And so, you know, we have to take care of ours, you know. And so that's my number one concern. I'm an author and a writer, so my website is www.jdanzy.com.
Have you published anything we should be aware of? Or?
My first publication will be out at the end of this month, and it's called Changing My Status to Open Relationship.
Okay, I'd be curious to hear what that's all about.
Oh,
for
yeah,
ano-
it's a
another
doozy.
time. Give them the name of this again.
www.jdanzy.com. JAYDANZIE.
And your book is going to be in the open market in 30 days? It's
Absolutely.
going to be released?
Yeah, it'll be everywhere.
And okay,
Amazon.
Okay. Give them the name of the book again.
So it's Changing My Status to Open Relationship.
Okay, Jay. Thank you. Did you want to give them your number if anybody needs your
Sure,
advice
it's
or
323-3-DANZY, D-A-N-Z-I-E. That's 323-3-DANZY, D-A-N-Z-I-E.
just real quick, I don't know what you do during the day, but 12 noon, Thursday, town hall meeting outside of county building, Public Act 4, schools, take over the schools, and Belle Isle. We don't want to see the state control Belle Isle.
Okay.
Okay?
Gotcha.
If you can make it. We want everybody, remember that, noon this Thursday. Show up to City County building. And Saturday at Belle Isle, at what time? All right, that'll be posted on the Greater Detroit, on the official Detroit Empowerment. Thank you very much for tuning in. I want to thank all my guests, thank R.J. Watkins, and of course, Gabriel Kenyatta, my producer. He's also Malik's producer. So I'll see you next week. Until then, have a safe week, and thank you. Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
Detroit Highland Park.